Hi guys, welcome to our channel, ECPC Forensic. We are a group of like-minded friends who aim to share our knowledge of forensic pathology. It's a field that you would probably be interested in if you enjoy detective novels or movies like Sherlock Holmes or works of Agatha Christie. Often, vital evidence is revealed through examination conducted by forensic pathologists, and thousands of cases are left to be resolved every day. In this video, we'll explore one cause of death by looking at the common signs it leaves on the body and explaining how forensic pathologists understand what happened. The topic for this video is drowning. According to WHO, 300,000 people die of drowning across the world every year. Among every 20 cases of death, there's at least one caused by drowning, and approximately 57% of drowning victims are under the age of 29. Drowning has always been a non-negligible issue, involving a terrible and suffering process with several complex biological mechanisms occurring at the same time. The scientific definition describes drowning as a process of experiencing respiratory impairment from submersion or immersion in liquid. In other words, having trouble breathing after being underwater. Let's break it down further. If you unfortunately fall into water and fail to get to the shore quickly enough, what immediately happens is that the cold water stimulates the sensory neurons on your skin. The neurons then send signals to your peripheral and central nervous system, causing the reflex, which we call the cold shock response. I bet you have tried it when stepping into a cold swimming pool and taking an involuntary deep breath. That is the reflexive inhalation. And when you are drowning in the water, this might cause choking, since what you breathe in is not air but cold water. Subsequently, you'll experience hypoxia and carbon dioxide buildup due to insufficient oxygen intake. Soon, your brain will detect that and then send signals to stimulate the respiratory center, a collection of neurons in brainstem, which again triggers reflexive breathing. But this time, the rapid inspiratory breathing will make you inhale larger volumes of fluid and worsens choking. This process lasts for around half a minute. After that, spasmodic rapid expiratory breathing can occur, meaning the body is quickly pushing air out of the lungs. This can cause air and fluid to mix and appear as foam at the mouth. As consciousness begins to fade, three major changes often occur together. Breathing becomes irregular and gasping. Pupils dilate and muscle control is lost. For example, the sphincter muscle that controls your bladder. A minute after that, your body enters the terminal respiratory stage, where breathing temporarily resumes, causing you to continuously inhale water. If the drowning person is saved at this stage, by effective CPR and advanced medical intervention, there's a high possibility for survival. If not, breathing will stop forever, though heart can still beat weakly for a while, and we all know what that means. If the body is fortunate enough to be noticed by someone, probably a fisher, the forensic team will come to examine it, and here's what they might find. At first glance of the body, they might notice something unusual with the skin. Livor mortis. These are irregular and uneven patches found on the skin of the dead body. They are usually shallow, light, and bright red in drowning cases. When heart stops beating, blood accumulates in the lower part of the body due to gravity and slowly diffuses out of the blood vessels. Then blood leaks into the surrounding tissue, leaving obvious patches on the skin, called livor mortis. On land, if the body has not been moved, clear patches of dark red or purple will be observed on the lower part. However, in drowning cases, gravitational pull is not the only force determining the direction of blood movement. Water exerts a buoyancy force on the lower part of the body, so blood cannot easily seep into the tissue, say on your back. And in flowing water, the waves cause changes in the position of the body, thus there's no constant lower part. Due to the two reasons mentioned above, blood tends to be accumulated in the internal organs instead of the skin, therefore contributing to a shallow and light livor mortis. Wash your woman's hands. You know how your fingertips get wrinkly in the bath after a while? That's a mild version of what we're looking at. When skin is immersed in water for some time, a natural process called osmosis happens. Water moves through the epidermis, causes stratum corneum, the outer layer on skin, to swell up, separate, and eventually peel off. This is called degloving, and it reveals stratum spinosum, the layer of skin cell underneath. Such phenomenon proceeds as time passes. After hours, your fingertips become soft and pale, just like what would happen when soaking in a spring for a while. After a day, skin on hands and feet will be wrinkled and macerated. After 2 days, macerating skin will begin to separate from the underlying tissues and bones, leading to skin peeling and degloving. Usually, such process will speed up if the temperature is higher due to faster loss of keratin, a primary protein in stratum corneum. With warmer water, keratinase, an enzyme which depolymerizes keratin and expands keratin cells, would be more active, accelerating the process of skin peeling. Lungs. During an autopsy, forensic pathologists may observe that lungs of drowning cases vary in appearance depending on different factors, such as the salinity of the water and demographic characteristics. Aqueous emphysema is commonly observed. This phenomenon describes the foamy, waterlogged, sponge-like appearance of lungs. During struggling, water is forcibly inhaled deep into alveoli. The air sacs experience overinflation due to the pressure from water and become ruptured. The inflow of water enlarges the lung, causing medial margins to meet at the midline. Sometimes the lung becomes so large that rib imprints could be found on the surface of the lungs. Emphysematous bullae, also known as drowning spots, are irregular, raised, pale, and dry-looking patches on the surface of the lung. During the drowning process, the forceful inhalation of water causes alveolar overdistension, which is the excessive and damaging stretching of alveoli. When many adjacent alveoli rupture, the escaping air can become trapped beneath the visceral pleura, the lung's outer membrane. This trapped air forms these localized, blister-like patches. Pal-tap spots are also commonly observed in drowning cases. Look at the inner chest wall and the surface between the lungs. Here, you'll find small, dark red bushes. These are caused by the tremendous strain of the final breathing attempts, which rupture tiny blood vessels. When pathologists cut into the lungs during an autopsy, a large amount of bubbly, foamy liquid often oozes out from the cut edges. This is because the lungs are filled with water mixed with air and natural lung secretions. This mixture creates foam under pressure and escapes into the airway, which we'll mention shortly, or leak out when lung tissue is cut. Airway. Foam exuding from the mouth and nostrils is easily found during examination of airway. It is composed of bronchial mucus, proteinaceous material, and pulmonary surfactants mixed with aspirated fluid. Gases, such as carbon dioxide and ammonium produced from the body, will inflate those bubbles in the foam. Please note that different populations may have different types of foam. Smokers may have less stable or darker mucus. Older adults may have weaker or thinner foam. People with chronic lung disease or premature infants may have reduced amount of foam. You've probably seen this in movies. When one's rescued from drowning, white foam persists around their mouths. But if you think about it, ordinary soap bubbles burst in seconds. How come the foam is so stable? While the pulmonary surfactant plays an important role in it, this is a special mixture of lipoprotein, phospholipids, and specific surfactant proteins, which stabilize bubbles and preserve them in the airway long after death. Stomach. Sometimes drowning fluid is found in the stomach, and depending on where the fluid is found, a crucial question is answered. Did the person die from drowning, or were they thrown into the water after some other causes of death, like murder? If the fluid could be found in the duodenum, you are probably alive when submerged, given that it requires vital gastrointestinal mobility for water to reach your small intestine. Therefore, drowning may be the cause of death. On the contrary, if it is not found in the duodenum, you might be dead before you're in the water. Thus, forensic pathologists may have to look for signs of other causes of death. However, this is not a definite rule in stating whether victims enter water pre-mortem or post-mortem. Forensic experts also take other indications into account, like diatom test, which we'll take a look at shortly. Heart and vessels. Darker, the oxygenated blood will be found in your right atrium and ventricle, since they receive blood from the rest of the body and pump it to the lung to be refilled with oxygen. Whereas bright, oxygenated blood will be found in your left atrium and ventricle. The blood here has just been through the lungs, being loaded with oxygen, and is ready to be delivered to your body cells. When forensic pathologists examine the heart of a drowning victim, they might see a striking color difference between the left and right sides of the heart. Right side is dark and red, while the left side is pale and pink. During drowning, the person inhales water, which mixes with air and blood in the lungs' air sacs, creating the frothy, diluted mixture. As we mentioned before, the heart's final wheat beats continue. This means that the right side still pumps its normal dark blood through the lungs, but it can't get through the waterlogged lungs effectively. Meanwhile, the left side of the heart sucks in this watery, frothy, diluted blood mixture from the damaged lungs through the pulmonary vein. As a result, you get two different liquids in one organ, normal dark blood on the right and watery, pale blood on the left. As red blood cells swell in watery conditions, they burst and release the hemoglobin, which stains your blood tissue and nearby vessels, like aorta. Due to multiple external conditions, body in drowning cases may vary quite a lot. Limbs may be detached caused by predatory marine life, storms, riverbeds, or the propeller of ships. Body may be preyed upon by microorganisms and enter putrefaction. It is important to notice that most of the above characteristics could not be used as absolute diagnostics of drowning. Sometimes, forensic experts need other tests to determine whether the body enters water pre-mortem or post-mortem. One famous test that facilitates the determination is the diatom test. Diatoms are used considering that they have strong shells to withstand the testing, and the fact that they are widely present in natural water bodies. Forensic scientists would take a sample from the victim's bone marrow and a sample from the lake. Then they will dissolve everything away using acid, leaving the atoms behind, since they have extremely stable silica shell. Then the diatoms from the two samples will be compared under a microscope. If the diatom patterns match, it is strong evidence that lake water entered the victim's bloodstream while the heart was still beating, and thus circulates into their other body parts. If no diatom is found in the bone marrow, the person may be dead before submerging in water. Through measuring the velocity of water, directions of current, and amount and type of diatoms, as well as other particles, the primary drowning site could be deducted. By now, you've learned the fundamental characteristics that help identify a drowning victim, and some basic ideas of how a forensic expert would provide a relatively solid diagnostic to confirm one's drowning. We hope you find this video interesting and insightful. In future episodes, we will introduce you to other causes of death from a forensic perspective. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.